It was a typical Monday morning, and the elevator was crammed with half-asleep employees, each clinging to their coffee cups like lifelines. In the sea of suits and silence, 26-year-old Layla Adams stood with her earbuds in, sipping her latte and mentally reviewing the week's marketing campaigns. She was used to the rush, the chaos, the never-ending climb in the corporate world. What she wasn't used to was meeting a man in the break room who didn't know how the coffee machine worked. He stood there, tall and slightly disheveled, wearing a gray sweater, jeans, and a name badge that simply read, A. Hale. Layla, juggling 2 muffins in her phone, watched him struggle with the buttons for a full 30 seconds before stepping in. "You're new, aren't you?" she asked with a teasing smile. "Intern orientation is on Thursdays. You missed it." He blinked, then grinned sheepishly. "I guess I did. Thanks for the save." She laughed and handed him one of her muffins. "Rule number 1, never mess with Karen's coffee stash, or you'll be blacklisted from the 4th floor." He looked surprised by her kindness, but accepted the muffin anyway. Duly noted. Layla. Creative strategy. "Nice to meet you, Layla. I'm Adam." They shook hands, and Layla didn't think much of it. Another intern, probably someone's cousin. Cute. Maybe a bit older than the usual college kid, but harmless. She took her seat in her corner cubicle minutes later, unaware that the man she just gave a muffin to was not an intern, not even close. That afternoon, Adam reappeared during a casual brainstorming session in the open floor meeting area. He didn't speak much, but listened keenly, smiling at Layla's witty presentation on a luxury car client. After the meeting, she plopped into her chair and gave him a thumbs up. "Not bad for your first day, huh?" He nodded and winked. "You were amazing in there." That made her cheeks flush slightly, but she brushed it off. Flirting with interns wasn't exactly professional, but who was keeping score? Over the next few hours, Layla found herself bumping into Adam again, by the copier, in the stairwell, near the vending machines. They chatted about music, books, and travel. He listened like no one else did, and she found herself laughing more than she had in months. She didn't know why he was so easy to talk to, but she didn't question it. Maybe he was just different. Maybe he wasn't just another wide-eyed intern eager to climb the ladder. Still, Layla felt a little embarrassed when she mentioned her dream of one day pitching directly to the CEO. "He's some mysterious guy, never seen him around," she joked, biting into her sandwich. Adam smiled but said nothing. That evening, as she left the office, she turned and saw Adam by the lobby window, staring out at the city skyline. Something about the way he stood there, so quietly reflective, made her pause. She almost said goodbye, but something stopped her. Maybe tomorrow. The next day arrived with the usual buzz and emails and urgent client calls. Layla, wearing her favorite navy blazer, was requested to join an unexpected meeting on the top floor, executive suite, the email read. Her heart raced. Had she messed something up? Or was this finally the break she was waiting for? She took the elevator up, feeling the familiar nerves creep in, and stepped into the sleek, glass-walled conference room. Only one man was there, back turned, staring out the floor-to-ceiling window. When he turned around, her heart stopped. Adam, in a tailored suit, standing confidently behind the CEO's desk. "Good morning, Miss Adams," he said, voice calm and collected, no trace of that unsure intern smile from the day before. "Thank you for joining me." Layla blinked, once, twice, her lips parting in shock. He smiled. "Yes, I should have told you. I'm Adam Hale, CEO of Hale & Marlowe. I took over last quarter after the merger." The room spun. She felt her cheeks flush, remembering every word she had said about the CEO, every muffin, every joke. She wanted the floor to open up and swallow her whole. But Adam's expression softened as he stepped forward. "I wanted to see the company for what it truly was, through the eyes of the people who work here. Not just filtered reports and boardroom talk. I met a lot of people yesterday, Layla. But only one person shared a muffin and made me feel like I belonged." Her jaw tightened as her heart pounded. "So, you let me think you were an intern." "I didn't lie," he said softly. "I just didn't correct you." There was a pause. A long one. "Are you mad?" he asked, almost hesitantly. Layla stared at him, then did the one thing he didn't expect. She laughed. "Only a little. But, you did owe me a coffee, remember?" He smiled, stepping closer. "Deal. But next time, let's make it dinner." The silence between them sparkled with unspoken understanding. Something had begun. Something more than titles and offices. Something real. Dinner didn't happen right away. There were meetings, press conferences, and whispers in the hallway once the truth came out. Everyone soon knew that Adam Hale, the elusive new CEO, had spent his first day blending in with his staff. But what they didn't know was how much that one day changed everything for him. For Adam, it wasn't just about seeing the company from the inside out, it was about finding the woman who saw him, not his title, not his suit, just him. And Layla, she couldn't walk into the break room without someone teasing her. Found any other interns lately? They'd joke, but she held her head high, her heart still reeling from that surreal moment in the executive suite. She had questions, so many questions. Why her? Why did he let it go on so long? And what would this mean for her career? She got her answers one evening when Adam called her into his office, not for work, but just to talk. I haven't stopped thinking about you, he admitted, loosening his tie. You were the only one who treated me like a person, not a paycheck. She folded her arms, wary but curious. You still should have told me. I know, he said. But I was afraid that if you knew, you'd treat me differently. And I didn't want that. She looked into his eyes and saw the sincerity there. The CEO was just a man. A lonely man, a kind one, and she, unknowingly, had offered him something he hadn't had in years: connection. Trust. A real smile. Slowly, their conversations turned into long walks after hours. Brainstorms turned into brunches. Work emails turned into texts at midnight. Do you think people talk about us? She asked once, nervously glancing around the office. They do, Adam admitted, smiling. Let them. I'd rather have you than their silence. There were challenges. HR had to be consulted. Layla even requested a department transfer to avoid bias. Adam respected her professionalism and supported her career growth without interfering. But outside the walls of corporate policy and guidelines, they were just two people finding their way through an unexpected love story. One evening, as they stood under the soft lights of a charity gala, Layla whispered, "Do you ever miss being the intern?" Adam chuckled, "Only when it meant I got to steal time with you." She leaned her head on his shoulder. "We're both still learning, aren't we?" "Every day," he said. Months passed. Layla's ideas were now being presented to major clients. Not because of who she was dating, but because her work spoke for itself. Adam made sure of that. He was proud of her, not as his girlfriend, but as the visionary mind the company needed. When the board offered her a leadership role, she cried in the elevator, remembering the muffin she once gave to the man by the coffee machine. "You made this happen," she told him that night. "No," he replied, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "You did. I just finally saw what you were worth." Their relationship wasn't perfect. There were hard days. Days they disagreed. Days the pressure of public scrutiny weighed heavy. But through it all, they remembered the break room. The muffin. The laughter. The day the CEO met the woman who didn't care about titles. 1 year later, Adam stood on stage at the company's anniversary celebration. He began his speech with a story. About a woman who mistook him for an intern. Who offered him kindness with no agenda. And how that mistake was the best thing that ever happened to him. Layla, sitting in the front row, smiled through tears. As the room erupted in applause, Adam stepped down, walked straight to her, and took her hand. "Let's keep rewriting our story," he whispered. She nodded, and the room disappeared around them. They weren't CEO and strategist anymore. Just two souls, once strangers at a coffee machine, now everything to each other. Clapperboard ending, video outro message. Greater than, it all started with a simple act of kindness, and a muffin. Life's biggest blessings often come in the quietest moments. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more emotional stories that remind us, love often arrives when we least expect it.